to go.
Cool!
Hey everyone, it's Nux, and we are back with another tier ranking video. This video is going to be a bit different from the one we did last time. Last time we ranked Sonic characters and Smash reveals, but with those videos what we did is we ranked them in a edited format. I did everything ahead of time, but this time, since we have less options here, I figure we do this one live. And to make it even more fun, we have a guest this time, so introduce yourself.
By the name 𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗧. I don't upload on YouTube anymore, but feel free to subscribe anyway.
Yeah, if you didn't catch that, that's the boy Konon. He's been on this channel quite a few times, so if you've been around for a minute, you know him. But just in case, yes, that is Konon, my boy Konon. At least that's what I call him. But I'll have his channel in the description below. Be sure to sub, even though he doesn't upload. But yeah, today we are going to be ranking Pokemon movies. This should be fun. So what do you think about Pokemon movies overall, I guess, before we start actually ranking?
Like the old ones or like the new ones?
I guess that's a fair distinction, because there is a big difference between the old ones and these new ones. And I feel like the newer people, if you're watching this and you're like one of those newer Pokemon fans, maybe you'll get mad at us, but I'm pretty sure most people understand the truth.
For me, like after maybe Gen 4, there was kind of like a dip, but I can still appreciate some because like the new Lugia one.
Yeah.
Part.
And the animation definitely has gotten better.
So.
Yeah, the animation has gotten better, just if only the writers did. But yeah, there's no real rules to this. We're going to rank everything here. There's nothing that should be missing. The one movie that's missing is the latest movie, which is the Secrets of the Jungle, I think it's called. At least I think that's its dub name or its Japanese name. I don't know. But the latest movie is not on here. We actually haven't even seen it, so we can't even rank it. So yeah, but we're going to rank all of these movies. Now, what's interesting is we've actually watched all these movies together. Unfortunately, I didn't record all of those sessions, but we've watched almost all of these movies together, minus a few. But we'll talk about them as we go. So let's go ahead and get started. No more stalling. So where do we even begin? Do you want to go in order of the release, or do you just want to just pick a movie or whatever?
Yeah, it would probably be better to go by generation.
Okay, so we're going to start with Gen 1, and if I'm correct, the first Pokemon movie ever, and the one that we should be ranking first, is Pokemon the first movie, which is Mewtwo Strikes Back. So where do we place this movie? I think it's pretty obvious what me and you are going to say.
But you're going to say?
S tier. Easy. Or do you think it's A tier?
I would. If this was like 10 years ago, I would say S tier. But now that I rewatched it, I would say A tier.
All right, the original movie you think is just A tier?
Yeah.
All right. And I'm gonna just go ahead and put it there. Now, I guess we can explain it, because what I like to do is explain my reasoning a bit, but just to be brief, Pokemon the first movie is a really nostalgic movie, and even though obviously it's not all that nowadays, I still think it's a great movie.
I saw a YouTube video that said like everybody remembers it because they like cried as a kid or something, and that's why they think it's good. But he said it's not good. I don't believe that. It's a good movie. It's just like it's not top tier to me anymore.
Right. And the thing is, you just can't shake off the epicness of that plot. Like, I feel like the epicness of the plot of this movie is just unrivaled. It really makes the main legendary a threat, which a lot of modern movies struggle with.
Yeah, but I feel like it was too anticlimactic. Even if
Right.
like Mewtwo gave us that iconic quote, it just felt like a drop off from the tension.
The quote people say sounds like a Martin Luther King quote. I would recite it, but I forget it. I forget exactly how it is. But yeah, the whole anticlimactic fight between Mewtwo and Mew definitely hurt it. But to be fair, there are movies with more underwhelming finales. But overall, I think this is a really solid movie for being the first movie. Mewtwo is just again. He just feels so epic as a legendary. Like, remember when he was literally causing a thunderstorm with his hands casually?
Yeah, and then the music.
Right.
God tier.
Oh, that's another thing. The score of this movie is godlike. Like for the dub. Like I feel like I should distinguish that. The dubbed version of this movie is where the power of it comes from, because the original Japanese version is like it lacks the
different movie.
Yeah, it feels like a different movie because it doesn't have as epic as a score. It feels a little more like a typical anime episode. Like, it doesn't feel as epic, you know?
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, the original Japanese version, it doesn't have that same kick to it. But the dub version, with the extended cut with the short, and that's another thing, the shorts too. It has that short that's Mewtwo's origin with the little girl. That also added a lot of depth to it.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, Pikachu.
Amber.
Yeah, the beta version of Maria and Shadow. But yeah, all of that makes this movie good. And we're not going to talk about the Pikachu shorts. I was going to bring them up, but I guess they kind of play a factor, but also not really. I will say Pikachu's Vacation is very nostalgic. That short is nostalgic.
Is that the one when they were like beefing with Raichu, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that's really nostalgic. All right, so yeah, A tier. I think I can agree. Personally, I don't know. I feel like that's like easily one of the best Pokemon movies, but when you bring up the flaws, I definitely understand why it would be an A tier. Oh yeah, and another thing, this movie has a lot of errors. Like the infamous error where they call a Cypher and Alakazam, I think.
They call like Meowth like Persian or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of infamous errors in this movie too, so that also holds it back a lot. All right, next we're on to Pokemon 2000, which is a Gen 1 movie, but it obviously stars Lugia. So what do you think about this one?
Wait, are we going by generation or release?
We're going by generation so far, and then we'll come to the bonus ones later, I guess.
Wait, did Mewtwo Strike Back come after Lugia or before?
Oh, that's a good point. Mewtwo Returns. I'm pretty sure Mewtwo Returns was after, because that's like a Johto movie.
Right.
Or I could be wrong on that, but let's do Pokemon 2000 first.
All right, that's S tier to me.
You think S tier?
Is a vibe.
I think I could agree on that. I think the movie is really good. The only thing that holds it back is the movie is kind of fetch questy, because they're literally collecting gems, Chaos Emerald style.
True.
But besides that, that movie has the same energy as the first movie, where it has an epic scale, it has a very epic plot, lots of memorable, well, I don't know about lots of memorable characters, because I feel like there's only one good one, which is the Ocarina girl.
I feel like the bird people are pretty memorable.
Yeah, overall, I think their costumes and stuff are cool, and how it was kind of like it gives off the Alola vibes before Alola was even a thing. But yeah, overall, that movie is just really good. Easily one of the best. The intro song.
My only complaint.
Oh,
what?
I was gonna say the intro song is a bop, by the way. Like the remixed version of "We Live in a Pokemon World." Bop.
Oh yeah. That's why I like the early 2000s. But one of my only complaints is that the action between the birds were kind of weak. Could have been better.
That's fair. And I feel like with some of these movies, that's definitely going to be a recurring complaint. because they don't take advantage of the action that these legendaries can bring sometimes. Definitely with this one, like with these powerful bird creatures fighting, it should definitely do a lot more damage. But they still made them feel pretty powerful. Like that one scene where it gets sunny, then it snows, then a thunderstorm starts, and then it gets sunny again. Like I feel like that really did a good job of showing their power.
Yeah, then when Lugia blasts the big old flying fortress.
Oh yeah, that scene is
dude
crazy.
Somehow doesn't die.
That scene goes crazy. That's another thing. This movie starts the trend of having villains that want the legendaries, as opposed to having the main legendary as a villain. And I feel like this dude was cool. Like him having this big battleship.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but...
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
But I wish more villains were like him.
For sure.
He was about the business.
I feel like some of the later villains try to copy his swag, but to no prevail. But yeah, with that, we can now do Pokemon Mewtwo Returns, which is this bad boy. So where are we putting this one? Now, I'm going to say it right now. I have not seen this one in years. Out of all the movies on here, this is probably the one I have not seen in ages, bruh. Like, so I can't speak much about this one. All I know is I think the infamous drying pan joke is from this movie.
Yeah.
That's all I know. But yeah, I'm going to let you take the mantle for this one because I don't remember much about it.
Me, it's like the definitive Mewtwo movie because he knows his position and everything, like he's developed. And we finally see like him face off with Giovanni, the machines, and like he's getting like hurt by Giovanni. That part was like pretty sick.
Dang. Yeah, I gotta rewatch that one because I have not seen that one in a long time. And were there any standout original characters that this movie had? I know there's the one Team Rocket girl, who I don't think we see again, sadly.
Yeah, it was for characters. It was pretty simple. It was like the main cast. Then like we saw Giovanni like in his full villainy type of nature.
And I wish we had. That's what I wish we had more movies like. Like the fact that Giovanni got pushed to the background as a villain is so annoying.
Yeah,
like because I
disappeared.
Yeah, because I feel like he has so much more potential to be like this reoccurring threat in the Pokemon universe, but he kind of just lurks in the background and lets the main Team Rocket trio, Jessie, James, and Meowth, goof around, which is annoying. But like for example, I want a Rainbow Rocket movie so bad, so bad. But I'll talk about that.
But I feel like Ash would ruin it.
Yeah, Ash and Co would ruin it somehow. I feel like there's a lot of ways they can make that movie cool though, but that's a topic for another day. So where do you put Mewtwo Returns?
Put it in S tier.
Oh snap!
Especially for the part where like he warps the whole like island, the mountain. That was pretty dope. Something like that. No, he warped the top of the mountain to like some other place.
Dang. I don't know. I feel like this one feels more like an A to me. But that's just me. But I think I could give that one an S. I feel like it feels more like an A to me, but I think S is also plausible for this one.
Watch it, bro.
I definitely do. It's been a while. But yeah,
developed in that movie.
All right, I'm gonna leave it then. I think that's a really solid movie either way. So yeah, we're still on a good track record so far for these Pokemon movies. That's gonna change real fast. Next up is Pokemon Free. So the Entei movie. Ooh.
You already know.
Yeah, get that bad boy up in S tier. Oh snap, I just realized, do we want to do... Okay, so with my tier list, usually what I like to do is I like to put them in order. So the one furthest to the left is better than the others. In terms of the ones we have so far, which do you think are better? Before we talk about the Entei movie some more.
Entei before Mewtwo.
Before? Alright. Yeah, I think Entei definitely needs to go above Mewtwo Returns, personally. And what about 2000?
Yeah.
Do you think that's still King of S tier so far?
It's probably my favorite movie overall.
Yeah. Personally,
Like from a non-bias.
yeah.
We're talking bias, Mewtwo's my favorite, but yeah.
Personally, I think Entei has a few more emotional beats that puts it ahead of 2000. I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like Entei just has like better character development, you know? Because with 2000, it's
true.
Yeah, with 2000s, it's very much a story about Ash around him and him being the chosen one and him saving everyone, and that's kind of really it. There's no deep character work with the antagonists or the side characters or anything like that. With the Entei movie, they really like go hard with the character work, like with Molly and Ash and his mother. Like it gets really deep. Like that's easily
pretty fitting.
Yeah, that's easily why it's one of the best movies. We could go on and on about it, but that's all I'm gonna say. Oh yeah, and the Charizard fight goes hard. The Charizard and Entei fight.
It's kind of like Sonic Adventure versus Sonic Adventure 2.
Right.
One's more story driven and like one's more adventure.
Right.
It's like
that's really how it feels like.
Yeah.
But overall, I think Pokemon Free has some beats that make it better. Oh yeah, Pokemon Free also had better battles. If we're like factoring in battles, Pokemon Free had some dope battles. Yeah. Like there was no battle I felt like was disappointing. Entei honestly felt like more of a big threat than he should be, really.
I don't remember his fight, to be honest.
Oh yeah, he has a lot of dope moments. And remember he gives Molly powers at a point too.
Yeah.
Ages her up, gives
like
her Pokemon. Yeah.
Built up to the fight.
Yeah. But the finale of that movie gets pretty crazy. And that's obviously because of the unknown aspect too. So that movie gets pretty crazy. All right. But yeah. So I think we can agree on that. Next up is the 𝗬𝗵𝗶 movie, if I'm correct. So let me look. Here it is. So Pokemon Forever, the 𝗬𝗵𝗶 movie. So what are your thoughts on this one?
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I would say A tier.
I think I could agree with that.
It's a really good movie, but I don't remember like any big characters. Like, wasn't the dude from in time, wasn't he Professor Oak or something?
Yeah, the main point of the 𝗬𝗵𝗶 movie is that it involves time travel, and the kid that is brought in to the present is Professor Oak, and it's implied that Oak even somewhat remembers Ash, which just makes their relationship more complicated. But besides that, I think, besides that, the movie is pretty dope. The villain was this Team Rocket guy who's apparently more brutal than others. At least that's what's implied. And he uses this crazy Pokeball that can make Pokemon evil and instantly obedient, which is
Shadow
wild.
Pokemon.
Yeah, Shadow Pokemon before XD and Coliseum. But yeah, and of course, Suicune was there. Suicune kind of felt a little shoved in there, but I think his role was nice.
Yeah, big facts.
So I would have to agree. Better or worse than the first movie, you think?
I will say it's not worse, but like not as good.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I think it's not touching the first movie personally, but it's definitely a really solid movie. Man, and then of course, in terms of like just crazy moments, like dead 𝗬𝗵𝗶 obviously is a lot more weird than dead Ash. Like Ash, nowadays when you watch that movie, you know Ash is gonna be okay, but like dead 𝗬𝗵𝗶 that kind of had me shook. To be honest,
I found it funny. Like, when he got revived, it was like it was on crack. It was just flying around.
Oh, that whole movie is just that whole movie is so interesting to say the least. But yeah. All right. Next up is the fifth movie, which is Pokemon Heroes, Latios and Latios. So this one is tough because I blank out on certain parts of this movie. All I know is that the city is really cool. Like, these movies usually go to unique locations, and this city was really cool.
Soleanna.
Yeah, Soleanna from Sonic 06. The city was really cool. It had some okay side characters. The artist girl that Ash befriends, she was all right. The villains of this movie, which is, as I call them, evil. What if there's twins' names that I said that name? Like, I compared them to those twins.
I call them Better Team Rocket.
Yeah, Better Team Rocket.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, Ali and AJ. That's what I called them. I called them Evil Ali and AJ.
Isn't it the Disney girls?
Yeah, the twins. That's basically what they were. But yeah, obviously this movie is very emotional towards the end because, as we know, Latios freaking dies and gives his life to save everyone. So that was a pretty crazy finale. That definitely made this movie really memorable.
I honestly don't understand this movie. Like, why did they want to control the water or whatever?
Yeah, apparently they wanted to control the water because with
the whole city go on lockdown.
Yeah. Like, I can understand it from that angle, but then she gets to a point where she doesn't mind flooding the city, which at that point, it's like, what? Like, you do know everyone, including you, might die. So that definitely makes the plot a little finicky, but overall, I think it's a really solid movie still. So what are you thinking? I'm thinking A tier just from how emotional the finale is. But I could definitely
rewatch.
Yeah, I could definitely see B tier.
Because I'm still confused on why there was a control room that put everybody on lockdown. Then it controls the water.
Right.
Like, I don't know, dude.
Right. Just for that, I think B tier. Again, it has a really great finale, but just
I would put it in like B maybe.
Yeah, B. B is what I'm thinking too.
It's based off memory.
Yeah, now that you mentioned the control room and stuff. All right, let's see. Next up is Jirachi. Jirachi is the first Hoenn movie, so we're ranking Jirachi. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fun, interesting.
Are you talking?
Oh yeah, I am.
You blanked out for a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's probably because we've been talking for a minute. But yeah, we're doing Jirachi now. So what are your thoughts on Jirachi?
Is that the movie where like Groudon was really big?
Oh yes, the mutated Groudon with the tentacles, the Man of Steel tentacles.
I gotta put that in like C tier.
Oh, I was thinking the exact same thing. That is a C tier movie. It's painful to put it in C tier because honestly, I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. Like with the Hoenn movies, we could bring movies to class and we would watch them between recess and stuff. And we watched the Hoenn movies in school. I saw all the Hoenn movies in school as a kid. So I have a lot of nostalgia for the Hoenn movies. The problem is, I think a lot of the Hoenn movies, are not as good as I remember them. And Jirachi especially is like really mixed. Because oh sorry, I was saying Jirachi especially is like very iffy. Like I like the premise. Like I like the idea that there's this Pokemon that can grant wishes, but the rules to the wishes are kind of weird.
And here.
Yeah,
I can hear you now. Okay.
The rules to the wishing are kind of weird with Jirachi, so that makes the plot Like, they're implying that Jirachi kind of has a monkey's paw kind of thing going on, but then, like, she can also or whatever gender Jirachi was. They're also implying that it can grant wishes just fine, so that makes the plot a little confusing. And then the villain is obviously the magician dude. And the only reason I like him is because he had that cool magic show sequence, and that sequence was pretty cool. That, and I remember the carnival. The carnival sequence was cool too. But other than that,
I barely remember this.
A lot of this movie is very forgettable. Also, another thing that hurts this movie is Max is at the forefront.
Max?
Yeah.
You know.
So that hurt it immensely. That hurt this movie immensely. So yeah, C tier. I feel like it's not terrible, but all right. Next is 𝗬𝗧𝗃𝗧. I know you got some stuff to say at this.
Wait, one thing on Jirachi is I had that on VHS, and I had like 𝗬𝗧𝗃𝗧 and Heroes on DVD. So I watched those more than Jirachi. So yeah, it's like I barely remember Jirachi.
Dang. But yeah, what do you think about 𝗬𝗧𝗃𝗧?
I watched the 𝗬𝗧𝗃𝗧 movie like so many times. The only thing I don't like about it is the fight between 𝗬𝗧𝗃𝗧 and Rayquaza.
Yeah, I feel like that could have been a lot more epic, especially given their powers.
Yeah, it was like really underrated.
Like, and I feel like we wouldn't get a proper 𝗬𝗧𝗃𝗧 versus Rayquaza fight till that Generations fight between them. That fight between them
underdone. I mean,
yeah, that Pokemon fight in Pokemon Generations was dope between 𝗬𝗧𝗃𝗧 and Rayquaza.
Yeah, that was sick.
It was short, but it was sick, and what this fight should have been. Because it felt like kind of just Rayquaza was chasing 𝗬𝗧𝗃𝗧 and his friend throughout the city most of the time. And another thing another thing that hurts this movie is I feel like this movie has a lot of filler. Like the part where they get trapped in the buildings because the city shut down, I feel like that was some grade A filler.
Munchlax and +1
Yeah.
They had a lot of screen time.
Yeah. I feel like at least Munchlax had a satisfying payoff with him evolving. But like,
what did you think about the dude that got traumatized by
oh yeah, him.
Heels and
I don't know. He's basically prototype Lily.
Oh yeah, true.
Where he's scared of Pokemon but slowly grows a bond with them. I feel like it worked better here since it's the first time they did it, and we never really saw a character that was like that afraid of Pokemon. And it makes sense too, because there are people who are like shook from animals. So naturally,
I used to hate them back then. But like looking back at it, it was a different type of writing, at least.
Yeah, I understand why they went this direction too, because they wanted to like change some stuff up. They were getting a bit in a formula. Of course, that wouldn't matter because they would go right back to it. But yeah. So what are you thinking? I'm thinking either B or C for 𝗬𝗧𝗃𝗧. What are you thinking?
Probably like last movie on B, maybe. Oh no, okay. Probably just B tier.
Yeah, or C. What are you thinking? B or C?
I think it's higher than Jirachi for sure.
Yeah, and it is naturally if it is in B. But do you think it's C or B?
I will say B.
Okay, I think B is acceptable. I feel like this movie, I feel like just because it's based on such cool Pokemon, that's the reason why it's in B. Like the Pokemon are so much cooler than Jirachi and fake Groudon. But
and I kind of like the scene where Ash got forced to battle with the kid who's never battled.
Oh yeah, that scene. Oh, that scene was dope. I forgot about that.
Lost.
Yeah, I forgot about that scene. That scene was dope and funny too. But okay, so yeah, I think 𝗬𝗧𝗃𝗧𝗃𝗧 deserves B just for that. Okay, cool. All right, next is oh boy, Lucario and the Mystery Mew. Okay, so I know what I just said about me being mixed on all the Hoenn movies, but then I forgot Lucario exists. Man, that is easily one of the best Pokemon anime movies to me.
I forgot most of it. I still have the DVD though.
Right. Definitely rewatch that one though. That one is a very fun movie. It really is. Because we have this unique setting with this medieval times type setting. We have the epic intro, the Zelda-esque intro with what's his name, Sir Aaron. And then we have a whole Pokemon war in the beginning. Like that intro is really.
Yeah, I remember the war.
Yeah, the war is crazy. So then Lucario gets sealed. He gets reawakened in the modern times, and he kind of beefs with Ash because he doesn't understand these new times. We have the meme Reggies. With the robot cries. We have the secret agent girl who's kinda on their side, but also not. Like, she was kind of complicated. It felt like she was meant to be like an antagonist, but then she kind of just ended up chilling with them.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch it.
Yeah, there's elements about it that are definitely iffy, but I feel like that movie has one of the most epic scales of the anime movies. It is like really good, especially with the finale and Lucario sacrificing himself to save Ash and all that. Like that, all that makes this movie easily one of the best. Personally, I would put it up. Honestly, I'm conflicted. I'm thinking S or not, maybe not S, but I'm feeling like this is definitely an A tier. What are you thinking? But yeah, I'm thinking that Lucario deserves to be an A tier. Maybe not S, because some elements of it aren't as clear cut as the other movies, but I'm thinking A. Personally, I think it's better than 𝗧𝗵𝗵, honestly. For sure.
What about first movie?
First, that's where it gets tough. I don't know. This is really tough. Like, I feel like both movies have a lot of strengths and weaknesses that balance each other out. So it's really hard to say. The only reason first movie is keeping its spot is it has the power of nostalgia. Like, I saw the first movie in theaters, bro. I watched Lucario on in class too, so I have memories of that. But nothing beats seeing a movie in theaters, bro. So I might
have the collector's edition DVD for it.
Oh snap! I might let the power of nostalgia win out here and let first movie keep its spot. I want to put it ahead of it, but I feel like there's something missing from Lucario that prevents it from getting up there. But it's definitely a solid movie. All right, let's see what the next one is. Next is Manaphy. So the last Hoenn movie is Manaphy. What do you think about Manaphy? If I can find it. Here it is.
To be honest, all I remember is like Ash diving like really deep.
Yeah. Manaphy is a movie that... This movie is infamous for being very tedious to people because if I'm correct, Manaphy is one of the longest Pokemon movies. It like has a really long runtime, and it has a lot of filler. Like there are so many moments where they're just literally chilling and nothing is happening. But it also has some pretty solid moments too. Like the whole water festival theme is kind of cool. The little circus like people that Ash and 𝗀𝗄 travel with are all right as side characters. They're okay.
I have no idea where to put it.
The villain is the pirate, I think, the pirate villain.
Yeah.
And then it has the weirdest finale with Ash going Super Saiyan. Gets the pirate dude. That's the one of the main.
Remember that?
Yeah, no, the finale is Ash obtaining the power of the Water Crown, which is apparently this Super Saiyan flying power, and he chases the water pirate down and knocks him off his water boat. It's so bizarre. Like
it's weird because I remember watching this like when it premiered. I don't remember anything.
Right.
Other than
and Kyogre is in the finale too. But I feel like the script for this movie could have been better. Like, so much of this movie is filler. So much of it is kind of just weird. Like, I feel like if this script was slightly adjusted some, it would be a much better movie. I will say the ending song is pretty good for the dub. But besides that, this is a movie that just kind of exists for me. So I'm thinking C.
Like B or C.
Yeah, C. Definitely C. Now, better or worse than Jirachi?
I would say better.
Yeah, I don't think it's better. I think it's worse. because it's a little forgettable. It's a lot more forgettable than Jirachi, and it has more content than Jirachi. So I'm thinking C tier for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, so we're making steady progress. We've almost cleared the bottom row. Next up is Darkrai. Ooh boy, this is the beginning of the end.
Darkrai.
Andrew's the one who says Pokemon movies went downhill with Gen 4. What do you think? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree.
Personally,
this is the one I stopped watching.
Right. Personally, I don't think all the Gen 4 movies are as bad as people say, but I think this is definitely where the writers kind of hit a fatigue a bit, and the Pokemon movies definitely lost a lot of the flair that the older ones had. Like, I don't think the Sinnoh movies are absolutely terrible. A lot of them are just kind of okay, in my opinion. But I can understand why people say the Gen 4 movies are the downfall of the Pokemon movies overall. But let's start with Darkrai. Darkrai, I think, is a decent movie. Darkrai is the epitome of a C to B tier movie. But the problem is the script is really rough. The plot apparently is that Darkrai is this feared monster of town, but we don't get too much elaboration on that. And then the main conflict is supposed to be about Dialga and Dialga throwing hands and destroying the world in the process. But even that doesn't feel like it gets the proper focus and epic scale that it should. Like, Dialga and Dialga fighting and destroying the world should be a bigger deal, but it kind of feels like a second fiddle thing to the Darkrai storyline. So that's why this movie is very rough.
Isn't Darkrai like the good guy in this movie?
Yeah, and then in the end, Darkrai is good. He's the one who tries to help them stop Dialga and Dialga. And then he dies, in quotation, dies, and then comes back in the end. I will say, I think it was cool that for once he got to be a good guy instead of a bad guy, like in all the spin-offs. Like every spin-off, he's a bad guy, but in this movie, he's a good guy. But yeah, this movie is just so forgettable to me. It is the epitome of a C-tier Pokemon movie. Like, that's where I got it.
Low or better than the Pokemon Rangers Manaphy movie?
I feel like it's better than Manaphy. Not as good as Jirachi, because Jirachi, as rough as Jirachi is, Jirachi has more memorable moments than Darkrai, for sure. So I feel like it's better than Manaphy, for sure. But I don't think it's better than Jirachi, maybe.
Alright.
Okay. Next up is Giratina. Man, this movie disappointed me.
Alright, you gotta carry this one, because I've never seen this one.
Okay, so Giratina and the Sky Warrior. Okay, Giratina and the Sky Warrior is basically a movie about Giratina and 𝗪𝗏, or as I like to call it, the movie that's basically the Platinum promotion movie. Like, Pokemon Platinum was coming out and they really wanted to promote that, so here's a movie with Giratina and 𝗪𝗏. This movie is painful because 𝗪𝗏 as a character is annoying, really annoying at times. Like, 𝗪𝗏 is just so annoying as a character. I think it's cool that whenever 𝗪𝗏 gets into the Sky form, that it's braver and it even goes toe-to-toe with Giratina, but besides that, lame, bro.
Does it talk?
Yeah, it does talk, which is why it's annoying. Giratina doesn't talk, but Giratina should be a much bigger threat than it is. Like, Giratina isn't the main threat of this movie, but there's this guy who wants to absorb the energy of the distortion world and use it to destroy the normal world. Like, I feel like this is another movie where a Pokemon should have been the antagonist, because Giratina is this Pokemon that's implied to basically be the Pokemon devil, but yet this movie makes it out as like a pacifist monster.
I wish she was like a bigger threat to Arceus.
Right. And
like, he's just an evil worm.
Yeah, honestly, he should have been like evil, and they could have tied this into the Arceus movie. But because they needed a movie with him next to 𝗪𝗏, they obviously had to dial him back. So it really hurt the movie a lot. Oh yeah, 𝗵𝗂𝗲𝗂𝗰 is in the finale too of this movie. Like there's a part where an avalanche or something is gonna hit a village, and 𝗵𝗂𝗲𝗂𝗂 comes out to help with that, which I think is kind of just random because it's not. We don't really know why 𝗵𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂 comes to help, but this movie is just. I'm tempted to put it in D tier because what I usually put in D tier are things that are meh, like meh, disappointing, or bad.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly thinking this movie goes in meh. Some people might get mad at me for that. Like, I don't know, man. This movie is just not that great, in my opinion. There are no really heavy standout moments. I think it's cool. The plot line of 𝗪𝗻 wanted to get back to its family, that makes sense. I just feel like 𝗪𝗻 as a character could have been better written. And Giratina needed to be much cooler than he was in this movie. Also, the villain just sucks to me. I also feel like they don't use the distortion world that well either, because the distortion world was a big part of this movie, but it's not that well focused on. Honestly, I wish Team Galactic was kind of tied into this movie a bit. Even they would have made this movie a little more interesting, but I'm gonna stop ranting on it.
Way better.
Yeah, now let's get to Arceus. Oh my god.
This is a good character.
Yeah, Cyrus is a good character, but we're getting to Arceus now. Ooh.
You blanked out.
Yo, Arceus movie. This movie hurts me. This movie hurts me.
Bro, D tier.
Right.
I despise this movie.
This movie hurts me so much. Because it's a movie about what is literally the god of Pokemon, or the presumed god of Pokemon. And the plot feels so, like, weak, bro. Like, Arceus as a character should have a little more of a motivation, like a better story around him. Like, a little more mystery, a little more intrigue and epicness. But no, he's literally just an angry, strong mon. That's it. He's mad that humans presumably betrayed him, wants to blow up their world. And that's it. And some other legendaries are holding him back while they go back in time and stop him from getting betrayed. And that's literally it. I think there's some interesting.
He got bodied by an asteroid.
Right. The fact that Arceus was defeated is really stupid. Like, he should feel like so much stronger of a Pokemon, but like he just isn't, bro. And
I don't know what the writers would think.
It hurts me so much. Like, Arceus in a proper Arceus movie could be so much cooler. I feel like there are some people who think this movie is one of the best. Nah, this movie is weak, bro.
No idea.
Like, it needs to be a D tier. Just because
that 𝗂𝗲𝗂𝗂𝗧 is a monster that purpose.
Oh, repeat that. You cut out.
Like I said, because 𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗧, he's a Pokemon that like intentionally destroys like asteroids and stuff. But Arceus had to give his life for it. Like, come on now.
Right. Arceus as a Pokemon. Like, there are so many bigger threats that have been shaken off by other legendaries that Arceus just can't deal with, and it annoys me immensely. I will say, though, I like the idea that he grew a distrust in humanity because of some dumb stuff humanity did, because that sounds about right. I do like that element. It feels like they're playing on like the whole Judas thing with how one human specifically is who ruined it for everyone. But like the way they went about it was just weak.
Should probably do like a Pokemon rewrite series.
For real. That's what we should do next. And then if we do, best believe this movie is gonna be the main one we spend time on. Because an Arceus movie should have been so much better. Only rivaled by another movie we're going to be talking about. Oh my god. But we're going to get to that.
Oh yeah, I already know it.
Yep. All right.
Legendary War.
Yeah. But next is the last Sinnoh movie, which is Zoroark. What are your thoughts on this one?
I saw this one. I feel like it could have been better.
Yeah.
What he is, because like illusions and like transforming, could have did some good stuff with that.
Right. I feel like Zoroark could have had like this cool plot line where it's impersonating people and there's like a mystery around it. Like, oh, there's this crime, there are crimes happening and random people are getting framed for it. And maybe Ash and Co could have like helped some detective character, maybe Looker, maybe not. I know you would have hated it if it was Looker, but they help someone like figure out who is this illusion causing Pokemon. Instead, it kind of goes for the typical grand scale generic angle where like there's this big bad guy and he wants to use the legendary for his own purpose. Although this time it's not a legendary, it's this illusion Pokemon. But I feel like this movie did have some good elements about it. Like the location, again, was really cool. Like the way that they had this weird soccer sport was kind of cool. I like how it involves the Tiger Trio and the illusions of the Tiger Trio end up bringing out the real ones.
If I rewrote this movie, I would have made it that Zoroark was like owned by like Team Rocket, and they made him transform into like Giovanni or something.
Oh, that would
like lower out Giovanni. Yeah.
That would have been wild. Like illusions, they definitely could have done some crazy stuff, but I feel like they went really basic with it. Also, 𝗬𝗵, like another thing that hurts this movie is 𝗬𝗵 is a side element in this movie, and 𝗬𝗵 takes kind of the spotlight away from Zoroark and Zora.
Wow.
Right, you probably forget about that because 𝗬𝗵 was not in it much. Yeah, 𝗬𝗵 is a plot point in this movie, so that definitely hurt it a bit. But personally, I think Zoroark is definitely one of the best Sinnoh movies. Honestly, I'm thinking C tier. Now, I think it's better than Manaphy, but what do you think? Do you think it's better or worse than Darkrai?
I would say better.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit, just a little better, because I think what helps this movie is how focused it is. The problem with Darkrai is that you had these plot lines about Darkrai being an outcast, and then you have the plot line of 𝗀𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗲 boxing. With this, it's literally just illusion Pokemon being used for evil. Yeah, you could argue 𝗬𝗵 makes it a little confusing, but 𝗬𝗵 kind of ties into that as well.
Yeah.
Also, I give this one a few extra points because the Japanese ending song. I watched this movie in Japanese and in dub because Japanese came out first. The Japanese ending song is fire. Ice Cream Syndrome, that's a banger.
Ice Cream Syndrome, that's what it's called?
Yes. It's such a stupid name, but the song is kind of a vibe though.
You gotta check it out.
It's a slow song. I feel like you might not like it. It kind of sounds like the Curious George ending song.
Curious George.
Oh, now that I say that, it sounds stupid out loud, but it is a good song though. Please believe me.
I mean, slower songs are cool sometimes. Like Inuyasha has a few.
Yeah,
songs that are cool.
But it's an alright song. But yeah, that's gonna do it for our Sinnoh movies. Now we're at the real end. Next, we get to the Gen 5 movies, which is just nothing but pain. Nothing but pain.
Okay, the vote.
We start.
One I've never seen.
Okay.
Right off the bat.
All right. I think we did watch it though. I'm pretty sure we watched that, but that you might have not been there for the roast for that.
Wait,
but,
does that count as Gen 6 or 5?
It's I forget. Oh no, Volcania. That one's Gen 6. I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah. That one's a Gen 6 movie, and those aren't even Gen 5 Mons. Those are Gen 6 Mons. Magearna is a Gen 7 Mon. Volcania is a Gen 6, so you're getting ahead of us. You're getting a bit ahead. Next would be the Reshiram and Zekrom movie, aka the Victini movie. That's the one that we're talking about. This movie is the epitome of the most safe basic Pokemon anime movie ever. Like, because it's basically the most generic Pokemon movie. It has everything. Legendary that the bad guy wants to control. Check. Side legendary that Ash and Kobe befriend. Check. Small ensemble of side characters with some cool Pokemon that they befriend. Check. Like, this movie is the epitome of a generic Pokemon movie. It's so generic. The only thing the only thing that makes this one memorable is this movie was infamous because they split it into 2 movies.
Really?
Yeah. Like, that's what this movie is known for. It has 2 versions.
They released at the same time?
Yeah. And
Crazy.
There's other differences too. Like, there's different Pokemon in certain scenes. Some of the characters use different Pokemon in certain scenes, stuff like that. Like, they wanted to do a 2 movies in 1 type thing. But it added nothing to the overall plot. Literally nothing. So in the end, the movie...
Wait, it's 2 movies in 1?
It's really hard to explain, bro.
I thought you meant like they did like 2 separate movies.
Nah, it's not 2 separate movies. It's literally the same movie with 2 different skins. One has different...
That's not as cool.
Yeah, it's not cool. Had they done like 2 separate movies where, depending on the choices Ash and Co make, like the results are different, that would be fire.
Yeah, I thought you meant like, you know how there's like 2 different games? I thought they did 2 different movies.
Right.
Like, that's points right there for me.
Right, but no, bro. It is not as cool as it sounds. It isn't. So I don't know where to place this one, honestly. I used to call this one the worst Pokemon movie because of how generic it was. But looking back on it, it's not as terrible as I remembered it when I rewatched it, but it's still not that great. So I'm feeling this one is a D. But I feel like it's, I don't know. I want to say it's, it is really tough to say whether this one is better than the 2 Sinnoh ones. It's really tough to say.
It can't be as bad as Arceus.
Yeah, maybe it's a little better than that one. I feel like, especially because it has a little better on the fight end, as far as I remember, at least. But I don't know.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
I don't know why people hype up the fighting in Arceus anyway. Like,
God.
He didn't actually take on everybody. He was blocking.
Right.
Come on.
Right. Bro, Arceus is so overrated, it's not even funny, bro. It's painful how mediocre that movie is. But, man, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to put it above Arceus. Maybe not as good as Giratina, because Giratina did a few more interesting things than this movie. This movie is like the most generic Pokemon movie, anime movie, for sure.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Alright, that's fair. Bro, you should just do a whole rewatch and let me know if we need to change stuff later. Man.
No, I feel like for the most part, we're good.
Okay. Next up is...
YouTube Returns to...
Oh, right. I need to get to that. For sure. Most of these are fresh in my mind, though, from the roast we did, so... Next up is 𝗀𝗄𝗏. Now, 𝗀𝗄𝗏, when we were about to rewatch this one, I used to think this one was also a really bad movie, but I feel like this one could have been cooler had it leaned more into 𝗀𝗏's backstory, and had we had more of a focus of the Swords of Justice and Keldeo fighting 𝗀𝗏, because the final fight between Keldeo and 𝗀𝗏 is actually pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that final fight between them is dope, but the problem is it isn't built up well, and Keldeo ends up taking an L anyway, despite all of its training. So this is one I feel like could have been cool, but it really dropped the ball hard because these modern writers just do not know how to build up to this epicness of a movie.
You said the pony beat 𝗀𝗏?
It almost did.
Okay.
Right. That would have been funny, bro. I mean, it makes sense that 𝗀𝗲𝗃 would beat it for sure, but like the way that they were building up Keldeo as this cowardly Pokemon, but then it trains with Ash and Co. and it's other deer people. Like, I feel like there could have been something there, but just the climax felt kind of empty to me. So, this one, I think, honestly, this one also goes in D tier, but I feel like it's for sure one of the best of them, solely because of how good the final fight is. Oh yeah, also it's really stupid how I'm pretty sure 𝗀𝗲𝗃 switched between forms in this movie. Like, he could, on command, switch between black 𝗀𝗲𝗃 and white 𝗀𝗲𝗃. And that is never explained. Like, it's cool, but it's never explained.
Yeah, I pretty much gotta watch the Gen 5 movies, like, from start to finish.
Yeah.
I remember that fresh.
The pain is fresh. Oh my god. Maybe on another day I would put this one lower, but I feel like just because the final fight was kind of cool, this one deserves to be high. Keldeo does have a bit of that 𝗪𝗏 curse though, where he kind of feels a little annoying, but he's a little slightly more bearable than 𝗪𝗏. All right, next up is Geosenge. Oh lord. Oh, the Geosenge. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Geosenge, this movie is infamous. It gave us 𝗵𝗲𝗄, female Mewtwo. Geosenge was really built up nicely in the anime somewhat, and they kind of pulled a Mewtwo almost, where they build up, they foreshadow Geosenge and then do this movie. But the problem is the climax that they try to build up to is so bad, and the fact that it's with this female Mewtwo that's implied to be a whole different one is just
Right.
This movie is bad. I honestly don't need to explain it. Oh, this
too.
Yeah. Also, this movie has some bad filler. Like, this one is bad. Oh my god. I don't even need to explain it. There are gonna be people who be like, "What? How dare you put Geosenge in F?" No. It belongs in F tier. Don't ask questions. We just go move on. Next, we get to 𝗬𝗏𝗃. I'm gonna just go ahead and put you in F tier too. You bro, the 𝗬𝗏𝗃. You know how I've been mentioning filler here and there? This movie is the king of filler, bro. King of filler. Like, you think the filler in Manaphy and the other movies are bad? This movie, half of it, I think more than half of it, is filler. They make friends with 𝗬𝗏𝗃, but then they basically go into town and chill with 𝗬𝗏𝗃 despite the stakes that are being implied to be happening. Like, this movie is supposed to be about Xerneas, a Pokemon of life that can bring people back from the dead, and 𝗵𝗿𝗲𝗀, basically the Pokemon version of the Grim Reaper, and they put them in the background. Wow. It is so bad, bro. Like, I don't know what it is with Gen 6 and just not utilizing the cool potentials that they had, bro. Like, Gen 6 just did not know how to use potential, bro. It is painful how much wasted potential this movie is. First of all, I think the focus should have never even been on 𝗬𝗏𝗃. Like, why 𝗬𝗏𝗃 was chosen to be forefront, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm...
The side Pokemon of Gen 6, I didn't like any of them.
Right. Like, and that's a big problem with these later movies, is they tend to focus more on the mythicals than the main legendaries. And this movie is the biggest example of that, easily, because like, I would put it worse than the 𝗵𝗲𝗄 movie for sure, because at least with 𝗵𝗲𝗄 there was some interesting elements in there. Like, Team Plasma clearly explains they were trying to replicate Mewtwo, which is how 𝗵𝗲𝗄 was made, even though that's really stupid, but whatever. And Geosenge kind of has an okay, like, creepiness vibe to it, but in the end, it's still lame. But 𝗬𝗏𝗃 is just unrivaled to me, easily. Like, that movie is so bad beyond words, bro. All right. We're here, Konon. Hoopa. I want to cry.
You guys.
Yeah, I want to cry. I want to cry just putting this movie here. I think it's naturally it's gonna be better than 𝗬𝗫𝗃𝗀, just because there's actually something freaking happening. But it is painful how much wasted potential this movie is. I'm gonna let you. You haven't talked.
Been like the ultimate Pokemon movie,
right? Like the whole premise is that Hoopa, a Pokemon that has rings that can pull legendaries from anywhere, is the main threat. Because Hoopa is a prankster and likes pulling these pranks. I think what they could have done is Hoopa's this Pokemon that causes trouble and is pulling these Pokemon. But then the legendaries, they obviously have beef and they start fighting and basically start destroying the world. Like this could have been a global threat movie. It could have been like easily one of the best. The problem? Basically, they have this stupid subplot where Hoopa gets split into two. There's an evil Hoopa, and evil Hoopa has to summon his own legendaries, but good Hoopa summons their legendaries, and then like they sort of fight and focus on them, but most of the plot is about stopping the evil Hoopa. And also there's filler too, and it's just bad. Also, Hoopa's voice. I'm not sure if it's dub or sub, but Hoopa's voice it makes 𝗵𝗵𝗃 look sound like dub Mewtwo. Hoopa's voice. Hoopa's voice was just pain, bro. Pain. Like this movie, it felt so uneventful. I guess the climax, where the fact that Arceus had to come and stop it, which makes sense, because who else could stop a war on this scale, obviously. The problem is, Arceus didn't come to stop the fighting, he came to save Ash and Co again. Ash and Co were basically about to die from some sort of dumb beam Hoopa created, and Arceus bailed them out. He didn't actually come and stop the fighting, he just kind of like peeked in and he was like, what is going on over here? And then he dipped. So yeah, this movie is
kind of forced.
Yeah, it's bad. Oh yeah, and the side characters of this one are the Arceus worshippers, which I find amusing. Like I find it amusing. It's implied that there are people who worship this god llama. But other than that, this movie's side characters are the Arceus worshippers. Like they have like Arceus symbol they wear. But besides that, this movie is trash, bro. That's all I need to say. All right, now... Yeah, now we're at... Oh, wait, do you think it's... Well, do you agree with where it's at, or do you think it should be moved?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay, cool. Now we're at Volcanion.
Yeah, I've never seen this. Like, around Gen 6, that's when I, stopped watching cable TV and... just didn't care about Pokemon.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you. I was kind of tuned out too. This wasn't one I saw until we started doing the roast marathon, so this was kind of one where I just kind of went into it not knowing what to expect. The plot is that Volcanion and Magearna, they already know each other, and it's implied that they have some sort of long-term relationship, which is like so bizarre, bro. So bizarre. And Magearna doesn't talk, but Volcanion does. I guess the movie kinda, it focuses a lot on the bond between Volcanion and Magearna, so it kinda has some heart in there. It's not mindless like the others in F tier. But it's such a weird relationship, though. One thing that makes this movie memorable is it has a cool location. It has a steampunk city as its main location. Which goes with Magearna, and I think that was cool. But the side characters are kind of forgettable. There's this villain character who's trying to... I forget what the villain's goal of this movie even was, actually. Oh, snap. Wow. Okay, so that's going to take some points off. I can't even remember what the villain of this movie wanted to do. For sure.
Wait. A question would be, because we know Magearna and Volcanion, they're, created... They just changed the formula. Because we already have Mewtwo, Genesect.
I feel like this is one of those movies where they were experimenting, but this was like one of their weirdest yet. Like, it just felt so weird, and I hate the fact that they wasted the Steampunk City location though. Like the location was cool, just the plot around it sucked. So I'm debating whether this one is D or F tier worthy. I feel like this one, it's not as painful as the Forbidden Free down here, but it's so forgettable that it does not deserve to be in D tier. It just does not. Like, I feel like it doesn't compare to Arceus and the others there.
Did it feel different from a Genesect and Mewtwo story?
Right. Like, it's not as bad.
I mean, like that they were like created.
Screw it. I think it might just have to be the top of F tier. Because I want to put it in D tier, but I don't think it's as good as the D tier movies, honestly. Too much of it is just so forgettable. And the only thing worse than being flat out bad is forgettable.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be my ranking for that. Maybe some people will fight me on that, but I doubt it. All right, and now we are at the final four. These are the latest movies. According to the continuity, next is I Choose You. So
Tier.
What tier? I feel like this is one I think maybe, on a good day, could get away with D if I was in a good mood. Like, I think, but honestly, I would have to agree. So the whole thing with this movie is this movie was initially hyped because it was implying to be like a retro story focusing on Ash in the past. But what it actually ended up being was like a reboot soft retelling where Ash has new partners instead of Misty and Brock. His journey is slightly different. Instead of Gary, there's this rival with an Incineroar to tie into Gen 7. And obviously, then you have the part where it's supposed to focus on Ho-Oh, but Ho-Oh is barely in the movie.
I'd honestly go.
Okay, and I thought with the Ho-Oh focus, it would finally, focus on Ash meeting Ho-Oh, because that's been a huge foreshadowing thing since literally the first episode, I think. So I was thinking they were going to lean in on that, like, oh, maybe this will be the movie that ends off Ash's journey or something, or maybe it'll give him some sort of climactic feeling. But no, it's just a soft retelling movie.
Still waiting for a Ho-Oh movie.
Facts.
But overall, I would put this movie in like bottom of F tier.
Oh, snap.
It just felt so unnecessary and like pointless.
Right. Like, I want to say, like, and the only reason I don't have it below Hoopa and 𝗬𝗲𝗄𝐻 is there's content there that's somewhat memorable. Like, you know how the infamous scene where the Luxray dies? Like, that's a random scene, but it's memorable. Like, we've never seen, a scenario where a Pokemon gives its life for its trainer like that. So I feel like that makes it has some type of feel. So it's a little better than Hoopa and 𝗬𝗲𝗄𝐻, but you're right, it feels so unnecessary. And of course, we gotta talk about the infamous Pikachu talk scene.
Pikachu, why won't you get more Pokemon?
It's because
The fuck?
I always want to be with you.
I'm gonna edit in that reaction too. Oh wait, I can't. I might not be able to because copyright. But
Maybe.
I want to edit in the infamous reaction scene. I really do. But go watch. I'm gonna link it. If I can't put it because of copyright, I'm gonna just link it. I want to edit it in, but that video speaks for itself on this movie. This movie is so bizarre. Oh yeah, and Marshadow was a semi-antagonist too. That
Pokemon is so underused.
Right, Marshadow is so bizarre of a Pokemon. We know no lore about it. Like, it apparently steals souls. That's it. But that's kind of Yveltal already is a Pokemon of literal death. So like, What's the point of snatching souls if like there's one that's meant to literally just flat out kill you?
Like, the thing is, even Manaphy got a movie, but Marshadow got this. Like, come on now.
Right. I feel like
Marshadow looks way cooler than Manaphy.
I feel like there's something they could have done. One thing they could have done maybe is like a spirit world movie, because there's implications that the spirit world exists, and they could have traversed to the spirit world. It could have been like a creepy ghost movie or something, because I don't think we've had like a real like ghost movie, have we? Darkrai doesn't count.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we don't really have like a spooky theme movie, so that could have been something they could have done. But no, we get this instead. It just feels unnecessary. So I think it's slightly better than Hoopa and 𝗬𝗎𝗄𝗃. Actually, you know what? I think it might be worse than Hoopa. Because Hoopa at least had something with the legendaries, but this movie just has nothing, bro.
The only thing I like about this movie, it's not even in the movie. It relates back to like knocking in the Pokemon reboot theory he did. That was pretty spot on looking back, because they did reboot the stuff.
Right. But besides that,
So,
this movie is so bizarre. All right, now we get to The Power of Us, which is probably one of the most divisive movies. Like, it feels like everyone has a different opinion on this movie. There are people who like it. There are people who say it's one of the best movies. There are people who say it's garbage. Like, I feel like this is one of the most divisive movies out there. So how do you feel about The Power of Us?
I'll roast it, but to be honest, it's not that bad. It was passable, like in a safe way.
Right.
I thought 𝗬𝗏𝗏 was pretty cool.
Right. I feel like this is one of those movies that really, for the first time in a while, really like got Pokemon back up to some form of decent quality, you know? Because after like so many mid and terrible movies, this is one that just felt really solid. The animation was really good. The art style was unique. The characters were somewhat memorable. You got the scaredy cat scientist guy, the little girl, the grandma. Who else was there? The mayor. Oh yeah, the little girl was the daughter of the mayor. And then, like this, the thing that helps this movie is that it has a nice set of characters that are decently memorable. Like with these last few movies, the character work is just awful. You don't remember anything about the characters or the antagonists or anything. With this movie, it has a very clear objective. Like it's trying to tell these different stories of these different trainers. You know, some of them are close to Pokemon, like Ash, who obviously, you know, he's been Ash for so long. But some of them are not close to Pokemon, like the grandma. She has PTSD of Pokemon because her Snubbull died in a fire. Which, by the way, that scene is still... that scene is still one of the most brutal Pokemon scenes for no reason. But other than that, like, this movie feels a little like it wasted its potential because the main Pokemon is 𝗬𝗏𝗏, but 𝗬𝗏𝗏 feels like he doesn't tie into the main plot as much. Like the whole thing is that 𝗬𝗏𝗏 is hiding from humans, and there are some hunters that want to catch 𝗬𝗏𝗏, but the hunters get dealt with pretty quickly, so there's no like big threat that really motivates 𝗬𝗏𝗏 into the story until the end. Except it feels like the ending is more so due to a misunderstanding than an actual conflict. And then
put this on the list to like do a Pokemon rewrite on.
For sure. I feel like they could have. And then you have the Lugia angle. This movie is supposed to be a soft retelling of Pokemon 2000, but then Lugia has literally nothing to do with this movie.
I would take him out like fully.
Yeah, like he does not show up till the end, and I don't think he even saved them. Did he save them?
I think he like made the poison mist go away or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, and that's another thing. The poison mist is one of the main conflicts, but the problem is the poison mist isn't from like some villain or something. It's just poison mist. It feels like that literally came out of nowhere because we needed a conflict for the finale. So that really hurt this movie. So it's not as bad. Like, this is easily one of the best Pokemon movies in years, but it definitely has big flaws in its writing. So where would we put this one? This one is a tough one. So what do you think?
Above Arceus for sure.
Oh, you think it's
You
mid?
say it's better than the.
Honestly, I think it might be. I'm feeling like maybe, okay. Definitely between C or D. Honestly, I think it's bottom of C tier. That's how I'm feeling.
You think it's better than Zekrom and
Oh, that's not. It doesn't take much to be better than Zekrom. That movie is mid, and especially Giratina, because no one is that likable in Giratina. Kyurem is where I'm like, and then Manaphy is where I'm like, Like, I definitely think it's between Kyurem and Manaphy, but it's tough to
I
decide.
would put it above Pokemon Rangers and Manaphy.
You think so? I think it's a little more memorable than Manaphy
I
because
enjoyed it more than that.
yeah, the fact we could actually memorize some of the events and characters definitely says a lot.
Yeah.
So I feel like some people might get the idea that we're saying, oh, it's like easily one of the best movies, but no, it's just that it's such a improvement from the garbage that we've been doing for a decade that I feel like it deserves to be a little higher than those movies, you know?
Yeah.
And it feels a little more memorable.
Basically a safe movie.
Yeah, a safe movie, which is what they needed after years of garbage. I'm really interested to see where Zerud and any other future movies are going to place because, man, it feels like the writers really do not know what they want to do right now with these movies. Especially since the future of the live-action ones are so shaky right now, but we'll be getting to that. First, we got to talk about the Mewtwo remake, the CGI one. So what are your thoughts on this one?
Watched it not too long ago.
Uh-oh.
I would say it's definitely not as good as the animation.
You don't say. Nah, nowhere near is it good as the original, in my opinion. No. Just flat out no. I don't know.
Say C tier.
Like, obviously, because it's based off such a good movie, it's not gonna fumble that hard. But because it's such a downgrade, especially because I forget, is the music changed in this version?
That I don't remember.
I'm 100% sure the music is different from the original epic dub score, and that alone takes hella points off.
Like, even the designs and all that.
Yeah,
it didn't feel right.
Ash's CGI design still gives me nightmares.
He looks like he could be Dora's brother or something.
Right, like the CGI is just so rough. And this movie is like, because it's based off such a good movie, it's not going to be that terrible, but just the CGI is rough. The designs are rough. The music is not as good. It's lacking that epic scale that the original had. Like, it just does not feel like as good a movie as the original. And honestly, it kind of has that pointless factor that you were mentioning with I Choose You. This movie feels just as pointless.
Yeah.
I feel like if they wanted to do a remake, I think if they wanted to do like a Pixar level remake where they like hire a better studio, maybe bring in some new elements in and do a like really cool retelling, I think that had potential. Like, remember we were talking about ideas they could do before this came out?
It would definitely improve the fight between Mew and Mewtwo.
Right, this movie could have been their chance to give us a better finale. But because the movie's just so mid, I don't know where to place this one. Where are you feeling with this movie? Where in C tier? Honestly,
right behind the Power of One.
Right, that's fair. Honestly, I feel like I feel like this is a movie that would be top of D tier. Because it's based off the original, it's gonna be a lot better than many movies, but because it feels like such a pointless movie to me, it just would have to go in D tier. But I think C tier is also reasonable. But I don't know. Were there any other big differences with this movie that you feel made it worthwhile?
They had a few. I think they changed the boat that Team Rocket was on, but that's not like a big deal.
I don't know. On another day, I would probably place that one somewhere else. And we might get roasted in the comments for putting it this high, because I know some people put it in F tier because how dare they touch my classic.
I mean, it is the same movie.
Right. It is. It's just, a new take on it. And man. All right, so we end this off with the final movie, which is Detective Pikachu, the first live-action Pokemon movie. Before we say anything more on this movie, let me just say that it still is bizarre to me that the first live-action Pokemon movie, the first movie where Pokemon is presented in this big way, and it's based off a spin-off with a talking Pikachu. So
Pokemon Company.
Right, so bizarre, bro. Like that decision will forever baffle me.
Just picture Keanu Reeves as the West from Pokemon Coliseum. He's blowing up the building and all that. That would have been dope.
Now I'm picturing John Wick just bodying Rocket Grunts or something, or Team Snag'em Grunts. But yeah, I feel like the reason they chose Detective Pikachu is because it focuses on Pikachu. I feel like that's the only reason, and Pikachu is such a big part of the brand that maybe that's what they wanted to do. But Ryan Reynolds voicing Pikachu, what on earth?
I thought it was weird, but it's actually like a really good pick.
Right. Like, despite how weird this movie is, it was much better than I was expecting. Like, seeing all the Pokemon in live action for the first time is bizarre, but kind of cool. Like, so many of them look really cool in live action. There's a few that I'm like, okay, what are you doing here? But most of them are really good looking. And I think that's like one of the movie's biggest strengths. The fact that it's this first live action movie. It has a pretty decent scale and some decent emotional beats. Some of the characters are decent. Like the female character, I think, has some good lines. Now, what really hurt...
Call her Misty.
Live action Misty. And the dude is a live action Ash mixed with Logic. Man, we should have gotten like a live action Brock. Just have some dude with his eyes closed following them. But yeah, I feel like what hurts this movie though is its story does feel rough in places.
Two things that hurt it is the pacing and there's really no action.
Right. Because they're in a city that forbids Pokemon battling, there's not that many battles. And that's kind of one of the biggest things of Pokemon. Which is why it's baffling they chose Detective Pikachu, because you would think they'd want to focus on the thing that's been making this series so appealing for years, but no. Like, I think it was still cool seeing all the Pokemon live action, but seeing them battle would have been even cooler. Like, I feel like there could have been some cool stuff they could have done in live action with the moves and whatnot, but the little we saw was still okay. Two specific things that really hurt it for me. I think you agree with me on this one, the infamous giant Torterra scene. That scene just is weird. Some people say it foreshadows Dynamaxing, but it just still felt so weird back then.
I feel like they just wanted to be different.
Yeah, I feel like and I do like how it is Torterra though, because it ties into the lore that Torterra were once so big that they were continents apparently. I do like that a little bit, but it feels like it comes out of nowhere. And it is a bit disappointing because the teasers made it seem like it would be some legendary or something. but maybe they didn't want to go into.
Groudon.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want to go into like the legendary tropes that the anime movies love to do. Where the finale has some legendary that we got to stop. And in the end, that's kind of what ended up happening anyway. And that's another thing that hurts this movie. The main villain's plot is so weird.
It was too predictable.
Yeah, we knew he was the villain. But his plot is so nonsensical at first. Like when you first watch this movie and he's talking about, oh, in order for humans to evolve, we need to merge with Pokemon. That is just such a weird plot to put on the audience, especially with this being the first Pokemon movie. Like, people are watching that are going to be watching that and be like, what on earth? Like, it's such a bizarre spin-off-y plot. It's not like Giovanni's plot where he's literally like, oh, steal Pokemon, get money. Like, I feel like something like that would have worked better for the big screen and these casual audiences. I feel like that's one reason why Detective Pikachu as a movie gets such poor reviews by some people. Like, some of its elements just do not feel simple enough, which is why I think doing a red and blue movie would have been better.
I feel like they picked this because since there's no fighting, they saved money, like not anime.
That too. Budget definitely played a big factor.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we get more live action Pokemon movies. Apparently they wanted to do a red and blue movie. They did want to do a red and blue movie eventually, and if they do get to that, that will be cool because we'll get to see more fights, we'll get to see more characters we know. Like, there's a lot of potential in doing a red and blue movie.
Is the Netflix one confirmed or a rumor?
The Netflix, oh yeah, and then there's the live action show. That is a rumor, I think. We don't know what's going to happen with that. We don't know what's going to happen with that, but yeah, that's kind of, like, we don't know the future for live action Pokemon, but I do hope we see more because it's a nice change of pace from the anime movies where they feel like they're getting kind of generic and stuff like that. This movie was very refreshing.
As long as they don't make Ash and the... Wait, like say the Netflix one is real. As long as they don't bring Ash into it, I think can't screw it up.
Right. And I feel like Ash is a big reason why a lot of these movies are held back is because Ash as a character just brings such a generic energy with him. He's the go-getter, chosen one type character who goes against the villain who has these very straightforward goals, like, and he has his friends of the week. Like, Ash, I feel like drags these movies down hard, bro, especially these later ones. But let's end this off. Where do we place Detective Pikachu?
I'd honestly put it above Jirachi and C.
you thinking C? Honestly, I was feeling this movie was B. Like, I think I rated this movie a B minus. Like, I feel this movie is a little better than Jirachi because it has stronger emotional beats. It has stronger epic moments. The story is a little better than Jirachi. I feel like it deserves to be in B tier. But obviously at the bottom. I personally, I think it's bottom of B tier. Maybe on another day I'd say it's a C plus or something, but I think it deserves B tier. Unless you think something else holds it back a little.
No.
Okay, this is our final ranking. Do you think there's something here that feels bizarre or could be adjusted? Like, what do you think of this final ranking?
No, it's pretty accurate. Except for I will put I Choose You like at the bottom behind 𝗬𝗫𝗀𝗀𝗃.
Bro, I don't know. I Choose You at least had
that movie is just like,
bro, you haven't.
We need to see Ash like his beginning again.
Right, it's a stupid movie, but bro, you haven't seen 𝗬𝗫𝗀𝗃. You have not seen 𝗬𝗫𝗀𝗃 is bad, bro. I promise you, that movie is easily, without question, the worst. I used to think Hoopa was the worst, but the more I'm remembering 𝗬𝗫𝗀𝗃, the more I'm like, oh nah, 𝗬𝗫𝗀𝗃 was bad. But
Gotta
yeah.
speed run the movie. The later movie.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be our final ranking, folks. There's probably a few here that maybe we'd slightly adjust, but personally, this is what I think. And I agree with a lot of this. Like me and Konon have some areas where we change stuff up, like he says Detective Pikachu C, and I could agree. I could see that. I could see that one being like at the top of C easily. But I feel like it does a little bit more better than those C tier movies to deserve the bottom of B.
Yeah, it can be anywhere between B and C.
But yeah.
Because, like, it's not a bad movie. It's just, like, for the first movie, they didn't go all out.
Right. They definitely could have done a lot better for a first live-action Pokemon movie. And hopefully we do get another one. Apparently they don't want to do a Detective Pikachu 2. So, we'll see what happens. And I think a Detective Pikachu's 2 was a stupid idea anyway, because literally that story kind of just wraps up on itself.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, is that canceled now, or what?
Apparently it is. The main actor said he wouldn't hold his breath for a sequel. And again, I don't know what they would do for a sequel. Maybe base it off whatever the new game is, but then again, we don't even know where the hell the Detective Pikachu 2 game is. So that might have something to do with it. But yeah, that's going to be it for our ranking, folks. What do you think about our placements of all of the Pokemon movies? Do you think everything here is fair? Do you think everything here is wrong? Are there certain placements you disagree with? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to like the video, share it with all your pals. I know this was a very bulky one, but I had a lot of fun. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Any final words, Konon?
No. I would just say, like, look out for the possible Pokemon presentation video.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a Pokemon Presents this one day, and we might do a stream for that. So if we do, look out for a video on that. But that's going to be it, folks. This is Nux, and I'm out. Peace out.
Later.